Have you ever faced a financial crisis and wished you had a safety net? Life, my friends, is a beautiful yet unpredictable journey. One moment you're cruising smoothly, your finances are in check, and the next, boom, you're hit with an unexpected expense that leaves you scrambling. It could be anything from car expenses because your reliable four-wheeler decided to have a midlife crisis to medical bills because who knew that winter flu was going to turn into a full-blown pneumonia? Or perhaps it's an unexpected layoff from work. The company's cutting costs and suddenly you're handed a pink slip. Or maybe it's a plumbing emergency. Because the universe thought it would be fun to flood your kitchen at 3 in the morning or a major appliance breakdown. Who knew fridges could just stop working out of the blue? These instances, while stressful, are a part of life. But here's the kicker. They don't have to be life-altering or bank-breaking events. The solution? Being prepared. It's not about being pessimistic, rather, it's about being realistic. We can't predict when these emergencies will happen, but we can certainly prepare for them. Think of it like this. You don't carry an umbrella because you want it to rain. You carry it to stay dry just in case it does. The same principle applies to your finances. Having a financial safety net, an emergency fund, if you will, is like having that umbrella. It shields you from the financial downpour these unexpected expenses can cause. And the best part? Having this safety net means you don't have to panic when life throws you a curveball. It means not having to stress about where the money will come from, or worse, having to borrow it. It's about having the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're covered, no matter what. Imagine not having to stress about where the money will come from in these situations. Now that's a thought worth holding on to, isn't it? Ever heard of an emergency fund? It's not as complex as it sounds. In fact, it's your personal safety net. Picture this, you're walking on a financial tightrope, the wind is blowing and you're feeling a bit shaky. Suddenly a gust of wind in the form of an unexpected car repair or a medical bill tries to knock you off balance. But there's a safety net below you. That's your emergency fund. This fund is essentially a stash of money set aside to cover the financial surprises life throws your way. These unexpected events can be stressful and costly. Here's where your emergency fund comes into play. It's a buffer between you and the unexpected, protecting you from falling into debt or needing to borrow from friends or family. Think about the last time you had an unexpected expense. Did it send you into a panic? Did you have to scramble to find funds, perhaps resorting to credit cards or worse, payday loans? An emergency fund can mitigate that stress. It's a financial superhero, there to rescue you in times of trouble. But how do you build one? How much is enough? And most importantly, how do you resist the temptation to dip into it for non-emergencies? Don't worry, we'll dive into all of that in the next scenes. An emergency fund, simply put, is your financial superhero swooping in to save the day when financial trouble strikes. Now you're probably wondering, how do I build this emergency fund? Well, let's dive into that, shall we? First and foremost, set a realistic goal. Whether it's $1,000, 3 months worth of expenses, or a full 6 months worth, having a clear target can help you stay focused and motivated. Next up, budgeting. Yes, it might sound like a chore, but trust me, it's your best friend when it comes to saving. What you want to do is take a good look at your income and expenses, then figure out how much you can comfortably set aside each month for your emergency fund. Remember, even the smallest amounts can add up over time, so don't get discouraged if you can't save a huge chunk right away. Now, you've set your goal, you've got your budget, what's next? Automatic savings. This is a game changer, folks. Most banks offer an option to automatically transfer a set amount from your checking account to your savings account each month. This way, you're consistently adding to your emergency fund without even thinking about it. It's like your own personal savings robot working in the background. But here's the real secret sauce: discipline. It's all well and good to have a plan, but if you don't stick to it, it's not going to do you much good. This is your hard-earned money we're talking about, so treat it with respect. This means no dipping into the emergency fund for those shiny new shoes or that latest gadget. Remember, it's for emergencies only. And lastly, consistency. Consistency is key in building your emergency fund. It's not about how much you save in a single month, but how consistently you can keep adding to it over time. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your emergency fund. Patience and persistence, my friends. Here's a thought. A well-stocked emergency fund isn't just good for your wallet, it's good for your mind too. You see, financial stress is a real thing, and it's a biggie. When you're worried about how to pay for that unexpected car repair or that medical bill that just popped up, it's like a dark cloud hovering over your head, casting a shadow on everything else in your life. But imagine having a safety net, a cushion, a financial buffer that you can fall back on when life throws its curveballs at you. That's what an emergency fund is. It's a stress reliever, a worry eraser, an anxiety buster. It's knowing that even if your refrigerator decides to retire without notice, you've got the funds to handle it without breaking a sweat. It's like carrying an umbrella on a cloudy day. Sure, it might not rain, but if it does, you're prepared. You're not going to get drenched. And that sense of preparedness, that confidence, that peace of mind, it's priceless. An emergency fund is also a testament to your financial discipline. Every time you look at it, you're reminded of your ability to plan, to save, to prioritize your long-term security over short-term pleasures. It's a pat on the back, a thumbs up to your own self. So the next time you're tempted to dip into your emergency fund for something that's not really an emergency, remember this: you're not just saving money, you're nurturing your mental health too. An emergency fund isn't just a money stash, it's peace of mind in a bank account. You're doing great. Now, how much should you ideally save in your emergency fund? Well, there's a golden rule in the world of emergency funds. It's suggested to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses tucked away safely. But why this amount? It's simple. This range provides a solid cushion to help you weather most unforeseen financial storms. Imagine your car breaks down or you need an unexpected medical procedure. Or worse, you lose your job. Having 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses can keep you afloat, allowing you to handle these situations without plunging into debt or tapping into your long-term savings. This rule isn't set in stone. Your personal circumstances might require you to save more or less, but it's a great starting point and a safe bet for most people. So remember, like a good Boy Scout, the motto here is be prepared. You've journeyed far in comprehending the significance of an emergency fund. It's now time to implement this understanding. Begin establishing your fund, letting it serve as your financial savior, rescuing you when unforeseen expenses attempt to undermine you. Stay with us as we progress on this journey together. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to stay abreast of more financial advice and strategies. We're dedicated to assisting you in developing healthy financial habits for success and living the life you've always envisioned. But before we dive into the world of side hustles, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned. Understanding the unexpected financial crisis that can hit anyone, anytime. The concept of an emergency fund as a financial safety net, and how to construct an emergency fund, starting small and incrementally increasing savings. Stay tuned as we delve into side hustles in the next segment, another great strategy to boost your financial resilience. Thank you for joining us on this journey to financial empowerment. And remember, your financial superhero is just a few savings away.